Dave, what went behind the decision to start Hyunjin for Game 1 and Kirsch for Game 2?
It was more of just trying to appreciate that both games have equal importance, and what we can do to put both pitchers in the best position to succeed. And so when you look at it and given each day or each guy one extra day of rest, as opposed to Hyunjin 2 and Clayton on regular, and then you look at Game 3, Walker on an extra day, made most sense to us.
Typically, Game 1 is a statement game when you name a starter. Was that a difficult conversation to have with Clayton that he wasn't the Game 1 starter?
It was just trying to have a conversation and tell him our thoughts. Obviously, Game 1's important, but so is Game 2. So I think it just boils down to we felt giving each guy the extra day kind of was the most important thing.
Andy, front row to the left.
Hyunjin is slightly better on like that with 2 extra days of rest. So was it more thinking that Clayton would benefit from getting the extra day than keeping Hyunjin?
It's both. I mean, because when you're talking about slightly better 2 extra days, I think we feel comfortable with the 1 extra day for both players.
Dylan, second row to the left.
How did Kershaw take the news?
Clayton's been very good with accepting whatever we ask of him, and so whether it's whatever situation. So I think so. He obviously he wanted to pitch Game 1 and expected to, but after talking to him and explaining our thoughts, he accepted it, and he's just said he'll be ready to go for the second game.
I've read somewhere that part of your guys' thinking was that he would also be available.
Sure.
Clayton would be in Game 5.
Absolutely.
How committed are you? I mean, say if this does go Game 5 to a fifth game, how locked in are you guys with Kershaw in that fifth game, or is it still kind of an open question who pitches that game?
Well, obviously the everything's going to be on the table at that point in time, but the only thing that's guaranteed is the first 3 games. So, once if we get to that point, then we'll have a discussion. But I think that, like I said, what gives us the best chance in these first 3 games that are guaranteed, that's our decision.
You've been playing with 40 guys for a couple of weeks. How difficult will it be to pare it back down to 25, and how close are you to making that decision?
Very difficult. It's kind of coming to a head now where you have a lot of good players that you can kind of match up. But then now when you got to pare it down to 25, this is where the conversations are really debated. And there's going to be some difficult conversations. So to your question, we're pretty close. I would say that 22, 23 guys are pretty much locked in, and there's a couple, 2 or 3 guys that we got to kind of figure out.
Alden in the center.
Dave, I think you had mentioned that you wanted to have a chat with Kenley before the playoffs started. Any sort of message you wanted to impart on him, and then also kind of where's the confidence level about Kenley being the guy that going into these playoffs?
My confidence level is high, and my expectation for him to pitch well in this big series is the same as it has been the last 3 years. He's shown to perform on this stage, in this environment, and that's what I'm going to pull from. His teammates are going to pull from, and I'm going to encourage him to pull from. So I know that Kenley is a very confident player, so I don't think that it's a concern of his, and it's not of mine either. But I think to your question, yeah, I'm going to talk to him and just confirm that he's in a good headspace, which I expect he is.
And also, I know the games will dictate this, but in terms of workload, are you comfortable with him handling a sort of similar workload to last October if you need him to?
I would say that was pretty intense last year. I would take the under on the workload compared to last year. But like you said, every game is going to dictate. But I do like the guys that we have around him in the pen. So, but to see him try to do what he did last year, unlikely.